So, as I did last week, one of the things I'm going to start doing as folks trickle in for the first part is just going to talk about things I'm reading so that people can, enough people can kind of get started on the game at the same time. This week, continuing through Louis Vada Camões, the Lusiads, the Portuguese epic of their first voyages out of Portugal into Africa and India. And yeah, it's about halfway through, hit Canto 5, and it's solid poetic material. It's, it's very strange. He's pulling in a lot of references to Rome and stuff like that, because one of the things that any European power 15th, 16th century really likes to do when it is setting its eyes on either horizon to expand into empire is try to find some way to connect itself to Rome, which is sort of like the ideal of civilization at the time. The church isn't doing it, so one of them has to. And yeah, so it's kind of embedded in that sort of imperialist language, but it also makes use of like all the Roman gods and deities and things like that as a way of sort of saying like, hey, we're Portugal, we're actually New Rome. And so it's a little bit of a hoorah nationalist thing for, 16th century Portugal. But embedded in that, I mean, it is a poem, right? And it does reach some fairly sublime heights in its description of, heroic endeavor and trial and success. So, yeah, it's a worthwhile read. I'm 5 cantos in. And I also got this week. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's Semiramis by Voltaire. And I think this is one of those print-on-demand things. I did not read the fine print, sadly, when I ordered it, and thought that it was a recent translation, but it turns out it was translated by William Fleming, who was 19th century. And buddy, let me tell you, 19th century translations into English, especially out of England, tend to incorporate a lot of thys and thous and a lot of that sort of deliberately poetic language that kind of makes you want to just stick a knife in your chest and twist it until the words stop. So, I mean, I read enough of that stuff in grad school that I can kind of get into it pretty quickly after a little bit of, warming up to the water, that I can do it. I can also do it because I spent money on it, and I'm cheap enough for that to be a worthwhile motivation. So, that gets us a few minutes in, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. This is Silent Hill Origins.